more. And I don't really do this as a living. You know, when David goes, get in there, warm him up, like I'm Shecky from the Catskills. And I don't have any jokes. All I really know is like the stuff that happened to me in my life. Okay, so I write this song for Aerosmith called Living on the Edge.
Wow.
It wins a Grammy. I become a genius in my own pants. Everyone wants to work with me, and I don't really even know why. Okay, so my publisher calls me up and goes, Mark, would you like to work with Ozzy Osbourne? And I went, you know Black Sabbath is great and stuff, but you know, he's a little scary to me. He eats bats and he lives in a dungeon, and you know, the devil is his friend, and he kind of scares me. He sells 3 million records. And I went, I know, but you know, I'm not really that heavy of a guy, more like a pop guy with a rock and roll thing to it. Okay, so I go on with my life. 3 days later, it's like 5:30 in the morning, my phone rings. Ring, ring. Hello? And I hear, Mark? Ozzy Osbourne. Mark, Ozzy Osbourne. And I'm going, hey Ozzy, and I'm going, someone gave him my number, I'm gonna kill her. How's it going, Ozzy? Great, Mark. You know, I love that song that you know, for Aerosmith, Living on the Edge. Oh, thank you very much. It is kind of Beatley. So yeah, well, I love the Beatles. Oh, I love the Beatles too. Really, I do. Well, Oz, that's great. And the reason I'm calling you is I want to do a record called Ozzy Does Sgt. Pepper. Ozzy does Sgt. Pepper. Ozzy does Sgt. Pepper. Ozzy does Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper. Now, if I wouldn't have interrupted him, I'd still be in bed with him going, Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper. Thank you, Sgt. Pepper. Yeah, I want to do the record with you. Now, I heard in his voice that he wasn't Satan, and he wasn't evil, that he was this lovely, artistic guy that was very passionate. Just in that phone call. So I go, okay, I'll come over. They fly me over, first class I might add, which is quite impressive for a guy like me. And usually I can at least go business after the penis flick. I can just use that as a tool to get me upgraded. And I go over to England, and they say go to John Henry's, which is a famous place in London where bands rehearse and stuff. I walk in, and there is Ozzy Osbourne's band. And it's Dean Castanova on drums and Bob Daisley on bass. Just these heavy metal guys. And they had huge hair. Like their hair had the Puerto Ricans living in it. Just big hair. And they're playing. Padded shoulders. And I walk in with my Rickenbacker, being the English guy that I am. And I go, hey guys. And they look at me. They all introduce. Everyone's fine. And I had done all my studying. So as a songwriter, I already started going down the path of kind of learning Mama, I'm Coming Home, Crazy Train-esque kind of stuff. So, I had this groove that was sort of like Bang-A-Gone on steroids. And it was called It Feels So Good to Be Bad, which I think Ozzy would have really wrapped himself around. So I learned it with the band, and it was weird. It was an experience for me because when I played with these guys, I realized what heavy really was. Because it's not fancy, it's just real undulating. And everyone's like digging in, and it was so impressive to me. So we're learning this, and all of a sudden, the door opens. And there standing, like backlit, like a Spielberg movie, is Ozzy Osbourne. Long black coat to the floor, round glasses, the hair that's straight down, and he's just standing there like this, with a little Scottish guy who looked like a wire hair terrier, just like real frizzy blonde hair and sort of short, holding this big bowl of like trail mix. And all of a sudden it's Ozzy Osbourne. And I must admit, for that brief moment, it took my breath away. It was like, because he looked like a star. And it's difficult for me because I've worked with so many iconic people and I'm a fan of theirs, but I have to pretend that I'm not, or they won't take me seriously, or they'll think I'm a stalker. So he walks over. Ozzy Osbourne. Hey Ozzy, great to meet you, man. He goes, this is my assistant, Tony, from Scotland. And Tony goes, Marek. And I look like this and I go, don't worry, I can't fucking understand him either. So he comes in and we sit down and we start playing. Now, Ozzy was going through a health kick then. Even though he was smoking Cuban cigars, which he got me hooked on, he would just go, Tony, and put his hands up like this, and a lit cigar was handed in, and he smoked. Tony, lit cigar. And he had this bowl, and I do not exaggerate, this big, filled with like organic nibs. It was like bark and footprint with cashews and just stuff that no humans would really want to eat that had taste. You know, rubber and rocks. And he was just eating it like this. And his little cheeks were out, and he was so cute. And the band is playing the song, and he's like grooving his head, and Ozzy gets an idea. Like, and he walks over me, he goes, Ma, I've got an idea. And he's spitting all over me. I looked like a fruit salad. I had almonds and cashews and cherries. And as the first day I met him, so I couldn't go, hey, stop spitting on me, man. Because I was trying to keep the gig. So, Ma, I love the and I looked like Carmen Miranda's hat. Okay, so we go back and we play the song. And all of a sudden, it gets to a section. And we're jamming. And Ozzy gets an idea, and he puts down his bowl, and he runs over to the microphone and gives like his fist up like this to shut the band down. And it ends up on the recording of it, he goes, "You feel so good to be bad." And he does like Ozzy, and it's great. But he runs up with his little cheeks filled, cuts off the band, and goes, "It feels so good to be." And he breathes in, and he's not leaving the microphone. Ozzy's just there going, and he starts to change the color. He kind of gets blue. And Bob Daisley goes, "I think he's fucking choking." None of his band went to save him. They're just sitting there and Ozzy's, and I figure, oh my God, I'm gonna Heimlich a legend. And I've never Heimed or licked anybody, so I take off my guitar and I ran over and just give him like on the back, like, and he goes, okay, I'm going in. I get in Heimlich position, which I made up. I didn't really know it's real. I didn't know what a Heimlich position, I'm making it up. That's the Cambodia position. I like it, but my wife says it isn't. So I go behind him, and with all my might, I just go, boom, and he goes, "Caw," and he spits out this trail mix ball that wasn't even chewed. Like if I had a bag, I could have repackaged it as Ozzy Mix because it was still dry. Ozzy Mix. And he sits down because he's kind of verklempt. And he goes, I have to go home. And Tony...
I got a question for you before you go on. Is verklempt a rock term?
No. Yeah, John Von Clemt. He puts the
John Von Clemt.
He puts the coat on. He walks towards the door with Tony holding onto the bag, and he goes, and Ozzy's walking out, and little Tony, the Scottish guy, goes, "Marek, you saved his beer, and they disappeared into the night.